it's in increments of 1,000. So a value of 1 means that it's going to drop it down to about 1,000 points. Looking at this hood right now, we're at around 865,000 points here, okay, on this. So we want to bring that down, and we want to make it manageable so where we can bring it right inside of 3ds Max. Now, it won't be exactly 1,000. It could be a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher. Most of the time, it's a little bit lower. Now, we want to make sure that Adapt is turned on, so Adaptive Density, and that just makes sure that the polygons are distributed properly across the mesh. And you can control that by using the Adaptive Size. I'm going to go ahead and set this to about a value of 20. That gives us a good mix of some polygons that are a little bit larger and some smaller polygons, and it really makes them mesh well together. So a higher value will give you really small polygons and maybe some really big ones. So with this set, I'm just going to use the default Z-Remesher. I'm not going to use the Z-Remesher topology tool. Let me just show you that really quickly. You can see Z-Remesher right here. This will actually allow you to draw in the topology that you want, but I'm not going to do that. So before I hit Z-Remesher, I want to make sure that my symmetry is turned on in the X. The reason for that is because when I hit Z-Remesher, it's going to make the hood symmetrical. Now you might be telling me, well, the hood is not symmetrical. There are parts that are different from one side or the other. Why would we want to do that? I find that making it symmetrical gives me a cleaner remesh, and then what I can do is I can bring those points into 3ds Max, and I can remesh it myself and kind of pull things out. So let's go ahead and hit Z-Remesher, and we'll wait for that to finish. Alright, so that took about 30 seconds or so to finish that up. Go ahead and hit Shift F to turn on your polyframe, and you can see that we have a perfectly symmetrical hood here. The loops on this are really good. Okay, nothing stands out that would be a problem for animation. Even on the inside, everything looks pretty good. All right, so now what I want to do with this is I want to go ahead and bring that into 3ds Max. We can do this very easily by hitting Go Z. Go ahead and hit that, and then it's going to bring that inside of 3ds Max, as that is my default software for Go Z. So here it is. It's already brought it in. It's imported it. Everything looks good. I want to go ahead and right click on my scale tool and set this to 1,000 on the X, Y, and Z. And then close that down. Let's back up, and you'll see that this matches up properly to our mesh. Now, notice that one side looks really good. However, the other side, not so good. It's not quite as symmetrical. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take these points on the outside, and we're going to make those symmetrical or asymmetrical. We're going to bring them up to the hood itself. So to do this, I'm going to use the PolyDraw tool. So let's go to PolyDraw, and let's make sure that we choose the hood. In this lesson, we're going to integrate the hood with the shirt. Alright, so in between lessons, we went through and we used the PolyDraw Extend to just kind of snap the vertices to the hood. And that did take just a little while to do that. Even on the inside, you need to make sure you take care of that. Also, pushing and pulling to where they match the edge of the hood here. So after that's finished, what we want to do is we want to finish out the bottom half of the hood, but in order to do that, we want to make sure that we integrate the t-shirt because it's overlapping the hood. So let's go ahead. Since I went ahead and started renaming some of these things. So here is High Poly T-shirt. I'm going to go ahead and unhide that. And there we go. So what I want to do at this point so we're just going to attach that, give that just a moment to do so, and then we'll go back to our low poly hood and make sure that we have PolyDraw turned on, select the hood again just to make sure that it is associated, and then we'll come in and we'll start to redraw some of this topology. So right click with Control held down, go to PolyDraw Extend, and hold down Shift Control Alt, and we're going to start moving these points up to match the t-shirt. So it's going to go seamlessly into one object into the other. Okay, so there we go. And let's go ahead and pull that up. And I'm just trying to get this to kind of match with the geometry of the shirt. Alright, now at this point I want to bring this to the center, and this one as well. And I'm going to go to vertex mode. I'm actually going to right click and target weld these two together. So that way it creates a nice loop here at the bottom. Go ahead and control right click and go back to polydraw extend. And then start moving these points around. Alright, perfect. Now one issue that we do have here is that you know, we're working on this, we're trying to get it all filled out, but we have a problem with this because